Okay, so Angelica, can you take your camera off? Chantelle, can you take your camera off? And Maria, can you take your camera off, please? Or can you show your face? That's a better way to put it. All right, so you guys, I'm getting ready to break this down. Like I mentioned before, and I'm gonna like start a little different because I know it's recorded now. So let me just regurgitate just a little bit. I have 3 people on here that have finished my course, but not only they're at the point where they are extremely profitable and consistently profitable. And the reason that I wanted this to just be like a different type of session is because it's kind of like in fitness, right? When I used to train people, people used to look at my body and be like, oh, girl, you were born like that, like, whatever, like, that's easy for you or whatever. And it's like, not to say they discredit, but it's like, oh, she's used to that. So they put me like on a different pedestal and feel as though they can't accomplish something themselves. Like, but if you have somebody that's extremely overweight and then they lose weight, you can resonate with that person more because they were where you are trying to go. So I have 3 people on here that I just want to break down because they are phenomenal in their own right. Each of them have a different story, and I want each of them to kind of give their background. I'm going to start with Maria because she's actually at work. So I'm going to start with her first. But Maria is one of my students. She started in August of last year. She finished in December. And now she consistently makes 700 pips a week, and she's getting ready to retire, her and her mom. So Maria, you can go first.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello, everyone. I don't know what to say. I'm nervous. I'm excited. So right when I met Jess, I had been looking at learning how to trade for about 2 years, and I just wasn't getting it. And then I took the class with Jess, and it took me a minute, but I got it. And now when I met her, I was going through a divorce, had just lost my house, still had a job, but not making enough at that time. So I was struggling in every way that you can think of. My heart was completely broken. Just everything was going the wrong way. And then I met Jess, and she helped me understand the market. I don't know, everything's just great. It took me a minute, but persistence, and I learned to believe in myself again. And now
you said you believe in yourself again?
Yes, because of you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But listen though, this is what I want to get to. Like, how did you get to the point where you were able to like overcome that psychology?
So every time I went to put in a trade, I would get super high anxiety, just nervous. And then if it went into drawdown, I would get out. So I kept losing my money because I would just get out, and then so I put in my trade, take profit, stop loss, and I set up alarms at certain points. Once the alarm goes off, I go look at it. I don't, in between, I make myself not look at it because it makes me want to get out or whatever. But now this week, I'm done trading for the week, put in EA, like I had said, 200 pips, put it in twice, total of 400 pips. And then I got 93 pips in USD CHF, put it in twice. I am done for the week.
And today is Monday, okay? We did a call yesterday. So like all my students, when we're done with the course, we still have like check-in days on Sundays, like at noon, and like just make sure, like if everybody has the same analysis, then they're more inclined to like take the trade. Maria's at the point where she don't even need like the course anymore, but she still hops on Sundays. But it just boosts their psychology. But like shout out to Maria. Maria, I know you have to go back to work. So thank you so much. But I just wanted to like give your thoughts I'm not gonna do a full interview with you because I know you at work, but thank you so much for hopping on. Okay.
Thank you, Jess.
Of course. All right. So Chantelle and Angelica. I'm gonna do Chantelle first and then I'm gonna do Angelica. So I'm gonna do it in the row of like students that like finished first because Angelica is like the most recent student that just got done. So Chantelle, wipe your camera screen off a little bit. Your phone screen. Okay. I don't know. It's like blurry a little bit.
I'm just in a really bad place. I'm actually still in office.
Okay, so you guys, Chantel's a doctor. It's like really blurry. I don't know why it's so blurry.
I don't know. Hold on. Is it any better?
Yeah, it's fine. It'll do. We can see you. We can see your glow. Okay. All right.
Okay, great.
So you guys, Chantelle was able to, she finished the course about a month and a half ago. And she flipped, how much did you start with? $2,000?
I opened the account with $2,000.
Okay, so she started her account with $2,000. She flipped it into $20,000. And I want you to give your like journey. But also I want you guys, like, for those that are just on this call, I want you guys to like have Q&A. I want Chantelle to give her journey, then I'm gonna have Angelica give her journey, and then I'm gonna open it up for Q&A in terms of like psychology and questions that y'all want to ask them. Okay, so you can go ahead and start with your journey, Chantelle.
Oh, okay. All right, great. So I have essentially been trading, well, thinking of myself as a trader. I became interested about 2 years ago when I started with this program. It really didn't do much for me. Other than pique my interest, it didn't do much. So I've always been searching and trying to find some way that I could actually enhance my trading skills. And then I found you on your Monday night call. And then based on that, reached out and you graciously accepted me. So I was excited, embraced all of the teaching that you offered. And by the time as I was finished, I felt a different level of confidence. Because I've always played around in the market and won some, lost a lot, way more losses than wins, up to the point where we met. So it was a very up and down, crazy journey up to this point. Then when I met you, everything changed. It's like my whole psychology changed, my mindset changed. I went from being this very afraid, very timid trader to actually a confident trader, because I essentially can look at any market, whether it be Forex, whether it be, I've traded oil, I've traded US 30, and I've done all of those with a confidence that I could not have gotten on my own. I mean, the confidence that I have now, just looking at the market, I can literally see the charts. Based on all of that crazy homework that you gave us, it took me to a different place, so that when I look at it, I'm not just looking at a blank chart. I'm not looking at squiggly lines and dots or candlesticks. I'm actually looking at the market. I'm seeing the flow. I'm seeing the pattern. I'm seeing where the market was, where it's going. But I don't like to be overly confident, because confidence is another trap that a lot of traders fall into, meaning overconfidence. So you can be confident, trust your markups, which is a very essential part of you being a really good trader, is you trusting your markups. Don't rely on other people's site. Don't rely on anything. Whatever you see, that's more than likely what it is, but don't be overconfident, because you don't control the market. You are part of the 1%ers, so understand that. So as much as you're confident, be confident but cautious. As much as I have flipped my accounts over and over, I'm still trading on a 0.10 based on the size of the amount that I started off with. And I did that, and I practiced that discipline, because I realized some of my downfalls in trading was that I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't practicing the discipline. I was overly confident, thinking that I could tell the market what to do instead of following the market patterns. But then just after you kind of nudged me, guided me, and said, no, see what you see and not what you think you want to see.
Right.
So that actually helped me in terms of building my confidence as a trader, but having discipline. So when my trades get to the 61.8, it could go another 1,000 pips above that. I don't care. I'm coming out, because I have given myself that target, that goal. And it's all about discipline. Being a disciplined trader makes you a profitable trader. Being a disciplined trader makes you a very good trader. So you have to practice discipline. That's one of the most important things to this trading. That's one of the more important things that's kept me successful for the last, since I finished to now. Being disciplined and looking at the market, following what I see, and coming out when I need to come out has kept me profitable and has allowed me to triple, double, quadruple, and just go beyond what I ever could have expected before this. So if I have to say one thing, be disciplined. You're never gonna lose when you're a disciplined trader, trust me.
Right. How much time do you have?
I'm actually at office. I have a patient right here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, does anybody have any questions for her before she needs to get off? Because, like, I don't want to hold her too long, and then we'll just interview Angelica.
I got a quick question. So when you said discipline, like you said get out, like, so if you're at 618, you're saying, and it goes past, you automatically get out. What do you do when your trades go into drawdown a lot? Like, how do you decide to stick it out versus, you know what I mean, pulling your trades?
Well, that comes with you practicing. And that's why I'm saying trust your markups. Because if you get a bad entry, and that happens, that's happened to me a lot, and you say, all right, but I'm sure I know where this is going, barring some extreme interference in the market, it definitely will go to where you said it's going to go. But if you have looked at it, you've marked it up, and you're in a severe drawdown, and it's not an account that can hold it, it's better that you come out and live to trade another day is my motto. If it's a really bad entry, you're in a whole lot of drawdown and your account can't manage it. Once you've lost the amount that you're willing to lose, you say, listen here, I'm going to come out. I can stay to trade another day more so than staying in a bad trade and just trying to ride or die. So I say, if it's a really bad trade, bad setup, you got in, but you just said, you know what, I didn't really look at this thing right. I'm really, really not sure about this. Come out. It's no shame in coming out, and then you can always find a better entry point and then go back in.
So somebody asked in the chat, they said, how long did it take you to flip your account?
The very first week, even before I finished, that's where I got the $2,000 from to flip. I had started off that account with 200, took it up to about 2,000 something by the time as we finished the course. And then
wait, we got to give the timeline because people probably don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I have this thing, like, before you finish my course, like, they do their demo account for like the 3rd week, and then they're in their live account like the 4th week. So basically, before she finished my course, she flipped $200 into $2,000. Then when she finished my course, you can finish the rest now.
Yeah. So when I finished the course, then from that time to now, that's how long it took me to flip that account.
So she flipped $2,000 into $20,000 in 5 weeks. Right? That was it. 2,000. Okay, got it. Somebody said
her to do the course.
You say what?
How long did it take you to do the course?
My course is 12 weeks long. 11, 12. Yeah. 11 to 12. It depends on how much homework you have to redo. Somebody said, what pairs do you trade?
For now, I only trade US 30.
Somebody said, do you do indicators? No, we don't use indicators.
No indicators. I just use the MACD and the fibs only.
Somebody said, do you have daily goals?
My daily goal was 500 to 1,000 pips a day, but I went way above that.
Do you already know how much you could potentially lose if your stop loss was to hit, like, before you go into the trade? So does that help you manage whether or not
I already know what I'm prepared to lose, and based on that, I know that if, just like I was saying to you, if you're in significant drawdown and you already reached the point where you're that amount that you're prepared to lose, you say, I'm not going anywhere beyond this, just come out. You come out and you say you can live to trade another day. A lot of people stay in bad trades and they try to ride it out, go into $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of drawdown, which is not worth it. Once you realize that, hey, this trade has already violated all that I thought, all of my setups, all of my confirmations, then come out. There's no shame in coming out. It's for people who sit in there knowing that this is a bad trade and they ride it. And then it just totally wipes their account. And then they're sitting there kicking themselves because as soon as you come out, as soon as that trade messes you up, it goes in the exact direction that you had planned.
So Chantelle, you only trade one pair even during the training. So you took that 200 to 2000 on US 30.
I took that before I started. I never traded US 30. It was about that last week of the.
I don't know what just happened to her phone. She might be getting a phone call because her name just went off. She's at work right now. She's a doctor in Jamaica. So I'm not quite sure what just happened to her phone.
That's all right. We appreciate her time.
So it's not for everybody. It is definitely not for everyone, but there are other trades that you can make similar amounts with without having to wipe an account, without having to learn a very hard lesson. So in the first few weeks, I had 7 pairs that we used during the course. And for those 7 pairs, I traded on those pairs only. And that's how I was able to flip my first account. But since then, to get to the amount that I was able to get to so quickly, US 30 was where I went. Because I can clearly see that market. No matter what it's doing, I bought the other day, sold the other day, bought the other day, and I'm able to see it more clearly. But I wouldn't recommend that as a first starting pair for somebody just coming out, because it's very difficult to see unless you're able to really read the market.
Thank you so much, Chantelle. I don't want to hold you up. Does anybody have any more questions before she hops off? Because I want her to get back to work. And then I'm going to introduce Angelica and we can ask her the rest of the questions. Somebody said, what were the 7 pairs? That part, it really doesn't matter, but Chantelle, you can say what your 7 pairs were if you want.
My 7 pairs are gold. It's GBP CAD, GBP NZD, GBP USD, USD CAD, and NZD USD, NZD CAD. Those are my 7.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Sure.
As you continue to build your account, and like, say now you're saying you're at 20, say you get to 50,000, how are you gonna change your lot sizes as you go up while still, you know what I'm saying, maintaining your strategy? Like, do you have a set pattern that you follow as your account grows?
Yeah, that one is pretty easy because there's a PIPS calculator that you can use that actually allows you to calculate the lot size that you're supposed to have for a particular account. So once it gets there, then I'll start increasing my lot size, but still practicing the same amount of discipline as not to blow it. Because it doesn't mean because I'm at 20, doesn't mean I can't wipe that account in one go. Because there's a lot of manipulation in the market, as I'm sure most of you realize, so you have to be very vigilant.
All right.
But I trade with Hugo's Way and FX Choice. Those are my 2 brokers. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. I love you so much. I don't want to hold you. Can you? All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Angelica. Last but not least. So, Angelica. Okay, so Maria finished the course. She started August, finished in December, and now she's about to retire her mom. And Chantelle started around like December and finished around like March. What month is it? Yeah, she's been done with the course a month and a half now. So she finished like almost the end of March. And y'all just heard her. So Angelica finished my course 2 weeks ago. And she was able to flip $250 into $5,000, was it? In 2 weeks?
Yeah, not quite 5,000, but it was $251.12.
Okay, to what?
To 48.
So to 4,800. Okay, so say your journey first, and then we're gonna go into like questions about psychology.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I probably will have some alarms going off here. I've got so many alert sets, they already went off some. But anyways, I was introduced to Forex 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. And I was looking for something I could do because I used to be, I worked for 15 years as a palliative nurse. And once I had my kids, I stayed home. And so I wanted to do something that I could contribute to my family because my husband was the only provider for us. And I was very grateful to be home with my kids. But so Forex wasn't something like it's not natural. Like for me, that was kind of something really foreign, like would have never thought I would sort of gravitate towards it. But I was intrigued by it. But in this 3 years, I really invested. I invested financially into different trainings. I invested into many accounts. And by December of last year, I just kind of thought, I honestly felt so completely defeated. And I just thought, just stop. Like, what are you doing? I was running in circles, and just stop and figure out, just take a pause and see what is next. If this is even something that I was gonna continue. And I felt like I knew less in December than I did when I started. Because in the beginning, it was like ignorance on fire, and there were some good moments. And at the end, I had all these little pieces of knowledge, but I couldn't pull nothing together. It just, like, I would try and follow one thing, and I would, in my head, think, well, what about that thing that I learned? And it was just such a disaster. And then in January, I decided, that, what, one more go. And before that, I had somehow come across this Monday night call, and I was always on it. And I loved how Jessica spoke, how she taught, and how she involved the people, and just how she, I just loved everything about it.
I think we lost you.
What? Really?
No, I'm
Can you hear
hearing
me?
her.
Yeah, we hear.
Angelica,
Yes?
We're hearing Angelica.
can you hear us?
Yeah.
I think you're lost. Did you get lost in cyber?
Oh, y'all can hear her? Or maybe it's my computer.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, we can hear.
I can hear Antia fine.
So anyways, on my birthday, I decided in January that I was going to do one more training. And if that didn't work, then I was just going to be done and go back to nursing or who knows what else. And so I started in January. So it took me a while. I was so completely, I'm not kidding. I had zero confidence. Even the first several lessons, they were simple, but I couldn't, I was so completely shut down. I could not see what Jessica was trying to teach me, especially the second session. And I think I was on that for 3 weeks. And so finally, bit by bit, like what she was teaching me started to make sense. It was consistent, and it was like puzzle pieces. I was putting this puzzle together, and I started to see the picture. And so by the end, like now, I can honestly not tell you guys, like there are no words to describe where I was and where I am now. I don't know. For me, I think that it is, like when I started trading 2 weeks ago, I had this itty bitty account that was dwindled down and left over. And I thought, no, you're not funding another account. You're going to either do this, build that account, or because it was a little, when I first stood on my own after I was finished the course, it does feel a little bit, well, now what? Like now you got to pull it all together. And I thought, okay, just keep it simple. Because half my problem was I was overcomplicating it, pulling in all these little bits that did not go together. And so I just made a decision once I started with Jessica that everything I ever learned, I was going to do my darndest to try and keep that, to block that out, to only follow her. and only what she was teaching, and not try and incorporate. I never added an indicator. I never even added like nothing. I just, whatever she told me, I did, like literally. And I think for me, that was, I had to build a foundation, which she gave me. And that's what I had to do. I, piece by piece, put that puzzle together. And now when I trade, I stick to that. I keep it simple. I don't try, like, I don't gamble. I don't sort of wing it. I don't wing it. If I don't see it, I walk away from that particular pair. It has to be clear. And if it's not clear, then it's just not the right time to trade it. But it just, like, I never thought it could be fun. I used to hear people say, oh, it, like, trading is supposed to be fun. I'm like, really? Where and how? But honestly, these last 2 weeks have been, the first week was like amazing, was like, oh wow, you did that. And the second week was just a whole different thing. It was exciting, it was fun, it was the confidence was just, I don't even know, I'm trying to find that perfect word, and I don't know, I cannot describe what a difference from where I was like at Christmas time to now. Did Jessica leave?
She's having some computer issues. She'll be back in just a second.
Okay. So, yeah. So, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm sorry, if somebody else can go, I didn't want to take nobody. I was just gonna ask Angelica the same thing, like just about the psychology. How do you get to a point where you in trades and say you see a trade going the wrong way than what you initially thought? How do you get yourself to stay in that trade and not pull it too soon, or or to wait till it actually hits your take profit? Like what was the turning point, or what was that one thing that clicked that allowed you to get to that point to now be profitable?
See, now the entry can still be tricky for me. I have to find that perfect, I do sometimes get into early, and so I get into drawdown. That happened to me in the first week. I was in GJ. I got in, thought, yeah, we're done with the retracing. I'm good. And then no, it wasn't quite done. So I waited a bit more and then got in the second time, and it still wasn't done. So here I am in a drawdown. But I went back. I didn't get freaked out about it, which in the past I would have been completely freaked out. I would have closed it. I would have okay. And so I went back, I looked at it, I looked at my analysis, and I just knew. I knew where it was going to go. I knew the -27 was going to hit it. And I didn't stress about it. I went to bed that night. I woke up in the morning, $900 in profit. And I just, I don't even know how, what I do with stop losses, personally, what I do, I set alerts. When it pulls back, I set alerts. And so then I check to see where it is, did it reverse? Because after all, it is with news and everything, stuff can happen. But I don't know. Like I said, if it isn't clear to me, when I draw it up, if it's not really clear to me, then I won't go in it. And I let it show me where it's going to go first.
Okay, so I'm so sorry, guys. My internet, I have been on back-to-back Zoom calls all day. I was even on a Zoom call from 7:30 to 8:30, which is why I sent y'all a different link today. So my computer is running hot right now. But where did I leave off? Does anybody have any questions? I don't know if you guys were actually asking questions.
We started asking Angelica questions. She was talking about her mindset and confidence and knowing what she knows.
Okay. So does anybody else have any more questions? Somebody said, what's your take profit strategy? Fibonacci.
Yes.
Fibonacci is the take profit.
100%.
What else? Does anybody have any more questions? Somebody said, what are your favorite pairs to trade? So all of my—
Do you also use the calculator too, like before, to determine your lot size and how much you're gonna risk with your lot size since your account is growing?
No, actually, I haven't done. I gotta know. Like, I realized that this week for sure. I gotta sort of put a plan together as my account grows bigger, because that it doesn't change things how I look at it. Like, to me, it's still one trade at, like, basically I look at that individual trade one trade at a time. I don't look at, oh, I'm going to get this much, or I'm going to grow to this. Like, I see what the market sets up for me for the day. And one thing I do agree with her is when that particular trade gets to where I marked it, then I'm done with that. Like, I don't jump back in for an extra 10 pips. I don't. See, here we go. Sorry, guys.
Look at this confidence. Like, I'm just so happy. Y'all don't even understand. Like, the Angelica that I originally met when I have even gotten on a Zoom call with y'all, okay? So the fact that she is on this Zoom call is just, like, blowing my mind. Her and Maria both. Chantelle is outspoken. So, like, she is, like, but Angelica, like, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. No,
yes.
It's I think in the past that was like, because it was the anxiety. It's like, oh, let's do one more trade. I don't go hunting for them. If they're there and it's a good setup, I take it. I don't have necessarily right now like that I only do so many and then I walk away from it, because I'm also at home though. I don't have a job. So Maria and Chantelle both have a job. That's completely different. So I get to do this every day, like to look at the market every day. But I don't, once it's hit take profit, then I'm done. Like, that's good. Then I sort of watch it. What's it going to do next? I'll watch it the following day and assess it. But honestly, it's every trade at a time. And I think for me, like, what changed is because now I know it's not winging it. It's not hoping, white knuckling through a trade, hoping that it's not going to reverse on me. And you know what? Pullbacks are part of trading, and they are going to be red at time. But the end result has been incredible, because I knew where it was going to go.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask some of the questions that are in the chat.
Okay.
Whoever has the music in the background, can you mute yourself? I thought I muted everybody. But okay, so first question in the chat, somebody said, what are your favorite pairs to trade? So I'm gonna answer that one. Her favorite pairs don't matter. It depends on you, okay? So like all my students, they have 7 pairs that you decide on the very first day that we decide to do this course. Those 7 pairs you study throughout the course. So particularly Angelica, she has like gold, she has USD CAD, is regular pairs. She doesn't trade US 30 at all. So, but the thing is like, I want everybody on this call, trading is a very individualized thing. So like, I know somebody just asked it, because I know people were asking what was Chantelle's pairs as well. It doesn't matter what anybody else's pairs are. What matters is what you do, what you see, and how you can execute what it is that you see, because the pairs don't matter. It's what you study. So, but I will tell you guys, like when they pick their pairs, they have to pick something that is congruent with each other. So for instance, if she has GB because she's already studying the Great British Pound and she's already studying the Canadian. Can y'all hear me?
You're cutting
Hello?
out a bit. So
Oh, no.
I had GJ, GCAD, GU, because I'm in Canada, so like I liked the CAD, like, so I did USD CAD, USD JPY, and CAD JPY and gold. And I do not trade the US 30. Gold is about as wild as it gets. And I've gotten like a ridiculous amount of pips on UJ or on CAD JPY. Like, honestly, it's regular. Like, I know everybody likes the US 30, and maybe one day I'll trade it. I don't know. Right now it intimidates me, and I love, you can trade anything and have the same outcome, really. The other ones move faster, yes, but you can flip the account the same way. I did not trade any indice except like to get from 251 to 4,800. So.
Somebody asked, what broker do you use? She uses Hugo's Way, right?
No.
Oh,
I use Juno Markets, and I also have TIO Markets but I don't think either one is available in the US.
okay. But didn't you use Hugo's Way?
No.
You never used Hugo's Way? Oh, I'm tripping. Sorry. Okay. No. Somebody said, what were you trading your account when you flipped 250 to 5K?
GJ and gold.
How long did it take you to grow your account from 250 to 4K? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's for 2 weeks. What was the most difficult part of your journey, somebody said?
The most difficult part of my journey, I think, was after 3 years and really investing. And like in the video I said, I even flew down to Austin to this boot camp where I was supposed to learn everything and about US 30, and make the money that I'd spent back and then some, and lost money there on top of what I spent going there. I think the most difficult part of my journey for me was to not give up, to believe, to realize that it could be done, to believe it. Even I didn't believe it though. I didn't believe it. I think to just trust that if someone else could learn it, then I could learn it. If this is something that could be learned, what would make me different from someone else? To literally like peel back, you know, because I did not have any belief left. I had no confidence left. But I figured if someone else could learn it, what would make me different? And, you know, just trusting Jessica, because she also, like, for me, what was a game changer, I had a mentor that believed in me when I didn't. And to just trust that, to not give up. Like every week in the beginning, after the sessions, I was just like, I don't know, like, I just don't know. And I kept thinking, maybe I just want the signals, you know? But then by week 3 and the second session, I was at least 3 weeks on that same session. And once I kind of got over that and I started to see the whole picture, I started to get excited, and that started to, like, my confidence started to come back bit by bit by bit. But it was 100% the knowledge. Without the knowledge, it would have never happened.
Somebody said, how long did it take you to start trading a live account from the time you began as a newbie? So she had a whole process before she came to me. As you know, people take signals and stuff like that all the time. So she started, I think she said 3 years, right? You started yes. 3 years ago. But she started with me in January.
Yes.
And throughout my course, I don't let none of my students trade at all. Like, you can't trade. So she started trading 2 weeks ago after she began the course. She started trading in her live account 2 weeks ago. And that's when she flipped the 250 to 5,000. Somebody said, what lot sizes did you use?
When I started the 250?
Yeah, it said, what lot sizes do you use? And since you don't have a plan, wait, I saw that question somewhere. Since you currently don't have a plan, what lot size are you using?
Okay, so with like when I started,
She has a trading plan, y'all.
I do have a trading plan. Like what I mean by that is like I had 250 and this, I just thought, okay, you're going live, what are you going to do, right? So I did not dream that I would 2 weeks later be where I am. That I did not quite expect. I expected to have my account growing, but not like that. And yes, my first trades were, 20 cents, for like 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents. And I just get to trade more because I am at home. So that definitely I get to go into more trades because I don't have to work around a job. So which is like a huge benefit.
So I have a question.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Was somebody about to say something?
Okay, yeah. I wanted to know if you have you had like a daily set goals of pips you would love to you set for yourself.
You know what? Till up to this week, I didn't really, because I just thought, okay, start trading, because I hadn't traded live, and which actually was a really good thing, because then my learning was not clouded by any anxiety or anything. Like there was no fear of loss because I was just learning. So that was like, I understand now why Jessica is asking, like, don't trade live, don't trade while you're in the course. But this week I realized, I need to set goals for how many pips do I want to achieve in a week. And I have to fine tune that a little bit because the last two were incredible. So at this very moment, I actually was working on it today. I have my little, so I'm kind of, I haven't exactly decided.
So the thing is like the last week of my course, they have to do a trading plan before they trade like live in their accounts. So she made a trading plan, but she like exceeded her goal well beyond. So it's like now it's like I can catch this easily. So now it's just fine tuning like what you can do on like a day-to-day basis. Somebody else has said, how long do you stay in trade? Like when you typically take a trade, how long do you stay in that trade? Like, would you say that you're an intraday scalper, swing trader? Like, what would you say?
I think for the most part, I'm an intraday trader and I twin trade. I absolutely that's where I got most of my pips is I stack my trades. But I am not a swing trader at all. I do not like, but having said that, like when there is a drawback, but like with GJ the first week, I know when I know where it's going, I'll stay in it till it hits the -27. Like I may get in, like this is where I am working on it too, is to find a good entry and be patient. And I know how to get, like I know what to look for the entry. It's just making sure that I got the confirmation and not be a little bit too hasty. But I just, so if once I get in, it's going to hit my -27. After the -27, I don't always, like sometimes that is my tick profit. I don't necessarily wait for the next one. And like Jessica's fib has 2 tick profits, but it, okay.
Listen, don't miss your trades because you're on this call. You better take them trades.
No, it's all good. I have my second screen open here. I can see that. It's all good. But it like, yeah. And when I'm done, like I don't regret, like if I see, like kind of what Chantelle said, if I see, you know what, that went way past, it could have had another 100 pips, that's totally fine with me. I don't care. I got, because the money that I took is money in my bank, and I'm totally good with that. I can walk away and do stuff with my kids, do whatever. And, you know, I think like something that I learned from Jessica too is really get to know the pairs that I worked with during the course. Like I kind of decided I actually really liked them and I stuck with them. So it's easier for me to mark up. And once you mark them up, the way she does it too is that you, like, I see what I did last week, I leave it on there. I did it. So what I do this week, I kind of watch it, and then I don't have to go back to scratch every time. I can look at the pair and know what it's doing, where it's been, where it's going, based on my past markups and sort of what's going on right now. So it's just sort of an evolving, it's evolving. So I don't look for new pairs. When I see people throwing out certain trades on certain chats or whatever, or a friend says, oh, you know, did you catch that? If it's not a pair I trade, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about what I didn't get. I'm thrilled for what I get.
Look at this discipline, girl. Somebody said, how did you not over leverage the account stacking trades with a small account to start out?
And again, I think because I get to trade, and I did trade a lot the first 2 weeks. Like I didn't, because it, like, you keep the lot size according to what your account can handle. But to get, like, when you're at 250, all of a sudden you're at 350, you're at 500. And it just, like, and I'm not in huge, like, long swing trades. So it grows very quite quickly. And once you're at 1,000, it just, like, I don't know, like, it was
it's understanding minor so structure easy against major structure. Yes, that's amazing. Yes,
exactly.
Somebody said, I'm trying to, like, make sure I'm keeping up with this chat. I feel like some of the questions are redundant.
Jessica, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Basically, you were saying something about you like to make sure that your students have two pairs that are in conjunction, or, like, say for example, if you have GBP USD, I don't know I can't remember exactly what you said. They need to have two pairs that, like, they match with each other, or they do the opposite of each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, like, let's say that she chose GBP USD and GBP CAD. Let's say those are two pairs that she chose. Mm-hmm. I will automatically put USD CAD in there. Like, even if she didn't pick USD CAD, I will automatically put USD CAD because she chose GBP USD and GBP CAD. So if you're already studying the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, it doesn't make sense to put in AUD NZD, which has nothing to do with GBP USD and GBP CAD. You see what I'm saying? So then once you're in those particular pairs, you can capitalize off of the moves overall on multiple moves because you understand what the pairs, the assets that you're trading and the markets that you're trading. And then it also makes it to where you don't have to study everything. Like she said, like, she doesn't have to go from scratch every single time. You get what you know and you move from that point.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I gave you, when you asked me when I started, I gave you GJ, GCAD, and GU, and then you gave me UCAD, UJ, and CAD JPY. So, like, those three you automatically added. I would never have picked them, and I really quite like them now. So, yeah.
Right. All right. Any other questions, anybody? Again, I really just wanted to do this call because it's different. Like I said, when you see me on this call every single day, just marking up, because y'all look at me as like, oh, she's the, like, person that teaches or whatever. But you don't believe, like, a lot of people don't believe that they can do this themselves. So it's like, it was important for me to have my students on here where it's somebody that was literally sitting in y'all same positions. Like, Angelica was just on these Monday calls. And Angelica's story was so, like, crazy how she even came into my sessions, but it's like she was just always on the calls. And then I was like, this lady, like, really be consistent on these calls. It's a few of y'all faces that I just, like, know y'all by name. Like, y'all always on the calls. And so I was like, well, ultimately we had talked about her doing it or whatever. And I was like, okay, like I'll take you as a student. We talked, and then she started her journey. And that was it. Does anybody have any other questions? Because I want to make sure, like, if anybody has any psychology questions. And she and Maria both are great people to ask those questions to, because she was terrified to trade.
Yes.
Like, she just wanted signals. Like, she really did just use it for like a good signals chat. And now she's able to call her own signals and not need a signal at all. Somebody said, how do you handle losses? Somebody,
you know what? And I do have them. I had one today. It doesn't, honestly, like, it does not, I won't say it doesn't affect me, but like, if anything, I am frustrated at myself sometimes, because if there are losses, it's my error. Then I go back, I look at the chart, and I know exactly why. Like, that's my first thing. I go back and see, why did I lose that? Why did I lose that trade? And I know, like, once I look at it, I know exactly why I lost it. And that's it. That has to be, that's good enough. Then next time I'm not going to have a scratch. And patience, like I said, I still have things to learn, but the only way I'm going to learn them is by actually trading. And it is like, I have the knowledge. I truly do. I have the knowledge now. So if I can trade, that is on me. You know,
so this is a quote that y'all should read. Can y'all read this? Can y'all read it?
Learn to take losses. The most important thing. Can you scroll over some more? The most important thing in making money is not letting your losses get out of your hand.
Not letting your losses get out of hand.
Definitely. Hold it up again, Jessica. I couldn't see it, so I could take a screenshot. Bring it over just a little bit more, a little bit. Perfect. Thank you.
Put it in the chat, please.
Thank you.
No worries. Somebody bought me this journal off of Amazon like a while ago. But somebody said, do you have issues with overanalyzing? How do you deal with that?
No, you know what? Not anymore, because if I do that, then it's not a pair I should get into right now. Because that means that if I am overanalyzing, then I'm trying to see something I can't see, I'm not seeing right now. So then that's not a trade I should get into.
Right. Somebody said, do you write your trades in that journal? Are you asking me? Do I write my trades in the journal? Anastasia, I believe. Anastasia? I don't know how to pronounce your name. But if you were talking to me, no, I don't. Well, okay. Well, Angelica, somebody just said, do you journal your trades? So we'll ask your question first, and then I'll go into mine.
I write down what I get into, yeah, and at what price point, and when I lose, or if there's a trade that is in drawdown, and remember, you're going to have drawdown at some point, right? To see red is not necessarily bad, but like when I go back and I look at it, if I feel in the slightest unsure about that trade, I'll pull it. And I just, and then I write down, why did you close that? Like, if it was a negative trade, why did you close that? It's because I could not see, something was missing. Some important part of my analysis did not sort of come together. But for the most part, and I think too, what Jessica was really kept talking about too when we were in the course is, when you don't feel well, when something is going on, don't trade when you can't be present. Like, don't trade with your mind being somewhere else, worried about something or preoccupied, because it's just not a good thing,
Right.
For me, it's like a job, right? I look at it, if it's clear, it's like drawing a map. Then I know I get there. But if I'm not clear that if I'm not sure I'm going to get there, then I'm not going to go. Period.
Miss Angelica, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you get to a point where you're like not so anxious to pull the trigger? You know, because I've placed a couple of live trades here and there, but I feel like it always comes with a lot of anxiety about whether it's gonna go my way or not. And of course, that comes with like learning how to analyze correctly and all that. But I feel like it's still kind of like, even when you are confident that it's gonna go your way, like there's still that anxiety. So how do you get to like the point where that doesn't happen anymore?
You know what? I think for me, because I trade the pairs that I do, and during since January, like my course took a long time. Like I know them. The back testing basically throughout the whole course. Everything I'm using now to analyze is what Jessica taught me. So when I look back, or if, you know, like consistently, it is the take profit hits, or like the strategy, the knowledge that I have, and that it works. It's all there, like all my notes. And so I think it's not something that I just got 2 weeks ago. It's something now. It's just like trading live now. It's the proof that the knowledge that I've gathered over the past 6 months, or you know, that it really works. Like it is not like, and I can look back, and I do sometimes when I'm not quite sure, I kind of go back a little and I back test, and it's like every single time bang on. And I think this is it. Like when you have the knowledge, you just, I don't even, like you don't have that anxiety, because you just know, like you know. And that's how I feel. Like I have never been so certain about certain things. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I don't lose a trade. When I when I go into drawdown and I go back and look at it, and if there's anything that makes me even slightly question it, then I look at the whole thing. I'll sometimes redraw it, even like draw it up again. And if I'm still not sure, then I need to close it. And that's okay. That's okay, because that is just part of the whole thing, and it will always be part of it. You know, it's just catching it before it's over half of your account in negative, right? So
yeah,
and making sure
makes sense. So would you say back testing is like the best way of practicing and getting that anxiety out of the way?
For me, like, because we've been doing it for 6 months, so I haven't back tested, but I've done the same things on my charts, even though I didn't trade live. I drew them up the same way. I had to draw them up, and we would count the pips at the end of, like, at our next session every time. And consistently, I was anywhere between like 1,000 to 2,300 pips a week. And
wow.
I think like doing it over and over and over, like, and that was like current, like right now, current market. And like with the pattern, with the candle pattern, everything, like market completely up. And when you start doing that over and over and over on 7 pairs, and you're consistently, and some trades, don't get me wrong, like some trades went the other direction, but the initial move was in the right direction, and then the bigger move went somewhere else. But like Jessica says, it doesn't matter where it's going to go on a bigger move, because that's weeks from now. It's where are the first 100 pips? Where are they? Like, are you correct on that? And it just, like, it builds confidence. If you mark up your charts over and over and over, like current charts, then like it gives you that confidence, because you're doing, like, I'm doing exactly what I did in her class. It's exactly what I'm doing right now, except I'm actually putting money to it. Like, I'm trading it.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much.
So you guys know how on Monday night calls, when I do, like, actually, because I trade gold like the most, or markup gold the most, you guys know how, like, even this past Monday, we talked about this, like, if it broke this trend line, that it was going to this green trend line, and then I saw this resistance area later that I drew. But I had this ghost pattern on here probably like early last week, because my friend Philip, he was like, it was at this resistance area. He was like, is that is at the area you need to take to sell. Philip, that was like last week, Thursday or somewhere in there. The market had like just gotten to here. But like when you constantly just have these like bars that just like play out over and over and over, that's what she means by like when you keep seeing it, it's like, you know, like you just know. Like it's like
So it's just a matter of studying that same pair and getting familiar with it.
trading is always getting familiar with it. But the thing is that like so many people are clouded with so many different things, which is why like for me, that was the reason that IML didn't work for me or work for me even talking to people about it, because it's like it's not consistent. You have one person talking about Fibonacci, then you have somebody else talking about Iliad wave, then you have somebody else talking about MACD, then you have somebody else talking about wrinkles, then you have somebody else talking about SMA and EMA, then you have somebody else talking about SARS or whatever the hell it is. Like, you know, it's like you, like Angelica said, you know a lot, a whole lot, or you know a lot about, a little bit about a lot of different things, but you don't know a lot about one thing that will make you consistently profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you have to know a little bit about a lot and know a lot about
yes, and that's the thing. Like with trading, you have to literally, and don't care, like Angelica said, don't care what nobody else is doing. Don't care, like you guys know, like Terrell is like a good friend of mine. He's like another educator or whatever. And he does wrinkles all the time. Him and Gigi, like they do wrinkles, they do MACD, all of that. Like me and Terrell, we real cool, but I don't want to know. Like, don't tell me nothing about wrinkles. And they don't use fibs. He don't use fibs at all, which is perfectly fine. We could still be friends and trade completely two different ways. And I don't want to see your charts. Don't tell me nothing about them. Like, that's fine. And I got the way I do things, and you got the way you do things. As long as you're profitable and I'm profitable, cool. But I'm not about to cloud my mind with what you got going on with what I got works. Ultimately.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Right.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, and I am careful now. I really guard that. I guard my knowledge and not getting it, not letting something else infiltrate, because it doesn't take much. And somebody says, oh, you know, check this out. I don't want to know. I have an arsenal of indicators that I paid for, and they are going to go to the grave. Like, I don't confuse what you know. It actually is, I think, what really surprised me. Trading is simpler than we make it. We always think we have to look for that next thing rather than perfecting what we have. And yeah.
Right. That's the thing. Also, because I think that oftentimes, like even on this call, when somebody is like, and no offense to the person that said, what pairs do you trade? Or when you ask Chantelle, what pairs do you trade? Like, it really doesn't matter what anybody else trades, because you're not going to see the market like Angelica sees it until you put in the work to see it like she sees it. Or you're not going to see the market like I see it. Like even my students all the time, like the whole goal is to train you to see what I see, but not, it's for you to comprehend it, not just trace it. Like I was breaking this down to somebody earlier. Do you guys know how like when you draw, right? You can literally have a sheet of paper and you can have a picture, and you can trace the picture that's under the paper, and it will look like exactly what that person did, but you aren't, if somebody said, okay, draw this up, you can't draw it. Like the concept is don't trace. I'm not talking, Chantelle. Okay, that's the student that I was talking about, but don't nobody know you, girl. Don't do that. She just wrote in the chat. She said, "Oh my God, listen, you gonna be on here talking about your profits one day, okay?" But this is serious. The only reason I'm exposing it is because it is something that everybody needs to know. You're not gonna do something like somebody else does it until you find the root of what they're doing. So it's like I said, the picture, like somebody can easily trace a picture and it'll look just like it, but you can't draw the picture on your own. And that's where the difference, and that's where the difference lies. Does anybody have anything, other questions for Angelica? I know we're at an hour now. Y'all know I'm like going over an hour, and I don't want to take her time away. She has kids and stuff. Does anybody have any other questions for her?
No, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Angelica.
You're welcome.
And congratulations on your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been so surreal because I truly came to Jessica so completely. I was just a big mess. Like, yeah.
A lost sheep.
Yeah, big time.
I enjoyed it.
Big time. I mean, truly, a 52-year-old, I'm 52, and I would never have dreamed. And then you start hearing, and I think to really watch what you're telling yourself and who you listen to, because people would say to me that knew me, and they knew what kind of nurse I was and how much I did love that when I worked in that field. Like, you know, you get these comments, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like, that's not you. And you start believing that. So be careful who you listen to and what you're telling yourself, because you're so much more than that, what you have been.
Listen, you guys have a skill that will literally pay you for the rest of your life. Like, if somebody said, what would you do with your life if money wasn't an issue? That's when you like really start getting into your purpose, like for real, of what God has called you to do. Like, what is it that you would do if you didn't need to do it for money? Because most people that have jobs right now, it's not their purpose. They just do it because they need to work. Like, you just do it. Like, you're in computer science because you found out that it will make you a lot of money. You're an obstetrician because you found out as a child, like, you need to be a doctor because, you know, you'll make a lot of money. But like, a lot of people aren't really like walking in their purpose for like what God has called them to do. Like, what would you do for free if you didn't have to spend any money for? And so like, I feel like that's the beautiful thing that trading provides for people once you get it. It's like, because like Angelica said, like once you get it, the sky is the limit. But you got to get it. Also, it was something else I wanted to ask you, Angelica. Or is there anything else you want to say? Because I'm so proud. Like, literally, this girl grew her account 2,000%. If you do $250 to $4,800, which is basically 5,000, that is 2,000%. And I was telling her yesterday, if you flip 5,000, 2,000% of 5,000 is literally $100,000. Like, if you use the same like percentages that you were using in terms of trading. And then, so like, let's say she did the exact same thing and spent like 2,000% in 2 weeks. That would be $100,000 by the end of the month. And then 2,000% of $100,000 is like, what was it? It was like, how many? It was 2 million, right?
2 point something, yeah, 2.1 or something like
2
that.
million. $2 million. Now,
I have to say, and I think having done this, I do, like, trust me, I'm not going to go crazy. I feel more like I need to be really responsible, and because I don't want to give that back, you know, so I'm not going to go just crazy about like and trying to grow it like that again. So now that I have this money, it's going to be, I'm going to be careful trading it forward, but not like, I'm not scared. I really am not scared. And I also, like, the 2 weeks, I think was a crazy fun challenge. And I want to have also more balance. I don't want to trade like all the time. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not. I have 2 teens that are supposed to homeschool, and so I want to have a great life as I'm doing this, and I will have that. So I just, honestly, I would say, you know, find someone and learn it, really learn it. And don't start looking, like, literally put blinders on. Don't look for what else is shiny out there that you could go get to get like that instant something, like, because that was me. I used to like everything was a promise that was going to get me to the next goal, but it didn't. And now I'm going to guard this. I'm going to guard the knowledge. I'm going to keep at it, getting better and better. And I still have lots to learn, but I can do that on my own now. Like, now it's on me. And secondly, be kind to yourself. Like, be careful what you tell yourself, because that sets root and grows, and then truly, like, you have so much more work to do, and it's not necessary. Like, everybody can do this. Not everybody will, but everybody can.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful.
Jessica, how do you find your course? Where do you find it?
So the problem is, I'm taking a break from teaching right now, only because. All right, so Chantelle had a talk with me last night. She was like, "You literally cannot stop teaching," because I had made the decision. This is why, and let me just state this. I had gotten to a point where I was teaching literally back to back all day, because I was really like, I really wanted to change people's lives, because this is a great skill. And like, once you learn it, you're really free, and it like really gets people out of poverty. But it got to a point where I was teaching so many people, and it was back to back. And also the thing about my course, which like my mentors are like, "Jessica, what the hell is wrong with you?" But I feel like this is why my students are successful, is because I don't rush them. Like Angelica said, it's 11 weeks long, but she had to do one homework assignment 3 weeks over and over and over. And because if I push you on without you understanding, you're not going to get it. And like,
potty.
the reason what I take pride in is like my students, like they get it, and then you can just like be free on your own and never need nobody ever again. So it's like I got to a point where I was teaching so much that I didn't have time to take my own trades. And also for the amount of money, like, $2,500, I was charging $2,500 at a time. Now I charge $3,500 for one-on-one, but even when you think about that, that's still cheap when I have students that literally make that back in a week. And so it's like, when I could make $3,500 in a day, but I'm like pouring into everybody else, it sucks. It really sucks. Cause it's like, I'm spending 5 months with somebody for the amount that I can make in a day. You know what I'm saying? So Chantelle talked to me last night and was like, you really have a gift and you really are changing people's lives, so you shouldn't stop teaching. So I'm going to continue to teach, but I'm going to monitor like how many students I bring in at a time. I have some people on my waiting list right now, but you can fill out, like, go to my website and just fill out like the student submission form, and then I'll get with you. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not taking like a lot of students, like, cause I still gotta have like my, you can't pour into somebody until your cup first full. It's like one of those things.
Well, we thank you for the money call.
And what?
Are you gonna do the group training that you talked about?
I already started it. Everybody that filled the student submission form are already in the group. Okay. Yes. I told everybody, I said, if you want to be in a group, go fill out my student submission form. And I had made a new student submission form on my website for group. And then I made one for one-on-one. And literally, like, I started, like, one of my group, actually, a few of the group students are already on here. This is the website so that you guys have it.
Okay, so when are you going to do another group after that one's done?
I don't know, sis, because I just started one is literally today. Like, the group started today. So this is the website, but if you go to education right here and just fill out this form, like, I swear I get back to everybody. Hold on, let me pause this video. Pause. All right, great. All right, so private student right here, fill that out. If you want to be a group student, fill this out. One of my groups is like moving really fast. They should be done in about, I would say, let me see who's on here. Rochelle, what session are we on right now? 5?
Yeah, session 5.
So they should be done in about 2 months.
Oh, so you have 2 groups going on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You said they should be done in about how many?
2 months.
2 months.
Because
so that's in August.
The course is 11. The course is like 11 to 12 weeks long. If they don't have to redo no homework, they have to redo one assignment. But that's the group that's going to finish first. I might add in one more but just fill out the form and then I'll get back with you. Like I promise I'll always get back with you. Everybody on the list I always get back to. It might not be right now, but I will get to it.
And to join the group?
Group is 2,000. One-on-one is 3,500.
And how many people in the group?
No more than 5.
Right, can you drop the web page?
Can you say how? Can you put those parameters back? How many people for the group?
5. No more than 5.
And how much was it?
2,000.
2,000 for 5 people? Oh, damn. Okay.
Thank you, Jessica.
Jessica, can you drop the link for the web page?
I just dropped it in the chat.
Thank you.
But also I make people do a assessment first also. That's the other thing. But
what are you looking for?
What do you mean by assessment?
So, you know,
like a character assessment type ordeal, or like what you get?
Yeah, kind of, and not really. So a little bit. Like we always have to have a conversation first because I have to feel it in my spirit. I know that's crazy, but God blessed me with the spirit of discernment, and I thank God for it. And some people like will waste their time. I've had students that literally say they want to train and won't do homework. And I like that for me is one of the most disrespectful things that you could ever do to me because I literally pour my heart and soul into this. So it's like, as soon as I have like students like that, it like irritates the hell out of me. Like I will refund somebody money so quick because it's not worth it to me. So like little stuff like that, but it's only because I really want the best out of you. So it's like, if I'm giving you the best out of me and I'm missing trades to pour into you, then you should give me your best as well. So like that can be one thing, but pretty much also you have to do like an analysis on Zoom and send it to me just so I can see where you are. But I don't judge you for that. It's just for me to see like where you are because I need to know where you are before we start, kind of. Like, if you don't know what a PIP is, like, I've had somebody be like, oh, can you teach me? But they were never even in IML or anything. So they didn't even know what a PIP was. And I'm like, you shouldn't spend as much money on trading if you don't even know if you like it.
Jessica, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Those pops behind you, are they from Walford Campbell?
I don't know.
The name usually written on it. To your left, the other side. Yeah. She turned it over.
No, it was my grandma's. I don't see a name on it though.
Okay.
It was my grandma. She used to travel everywhere, but she passed away.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any more questions? Because we're about to go. Any more questions at all? Sophie, you could stop recording.